Music has many positive health benefits. Music has been found to heal people who suffer from pain, from stroke, from anxiety, from Parkinson's disease, dementia, and depression, to mention just a few. But did you know that composing music also has its own particular set of health benefits? Composing music stimulates your anterior cingulate cortex, helping you with 1. Emotional processing. When you compose music, you are attempting to communicate your emotions through the vehicle of music. That involves a very mysterious yet intricate process and connection between our feelings and sound. I can tell you from experience that composing music is a wonderful emotional outlet, very different from playing pieces by other composers. So when we compose, we're trying to translate our feelings into sound, and there's something therapeutic about that process. How could that help you in your day-to-day life? What would it be like if your emotions were more carefully regulated? So what if you went about your day and you were calmer, things didn't affect your emotions as much because you've had that outlet? How much better would your relationships with family and friends be? So if you're calmer and not so reactive, a better relationship with your friends and family. Isn't that amazing that composing music, could actually improve and enhance your relationships with other people? What would it feel like to cut out negative emotions and have positive emotions flourish in your daily life? And how nice would that be, instead of experiencing negative emotions, because you've had that outlet through composition, through your day-to-day life, you could experience positive emotions, more joy, more happiness, more satisfaction, more fulfillment. So really great benefit there to composing, emotional processing. Benefit number 2, attention span. Composing music requires a huge attention span, as you must carefully consider every detail of the music: form, rhythm, phrase structure, harmony, melody, everything. And concentrate on crafting each detail to maximum refinement. From my experience composing, it's a very different kind of concentration than just practicing or playing the guitar. It's much more all-encompassing, physical, mental, and emotional. It's like playing chess and telling a very personal story at the same time. So if you ever tried composing before, you might have experienced this already. It requires a very, very long and deep attention span. You can't it's not something you can multitask, and watch TV and, do the dishes and clean and compose. You have to be kind of immersed in it. And it takes a full immersion for a sustained period of time. And I mean, in this day and age, that's a super important thing, because we're so distracted. We tend to be always micromanaging things, doing things in small doses. Our attention span, things like Instagram and TikTok, I think, are a reflection of our attention span these days. But I think it's really healthy to develop or to practice things and develop our attention span so that we can concentrate for sustained periods of time. This will help your playing as well. This will help you in many areas of life, actually, not just in music. So how could that help you in your day-to-day life? How much better would you listen to your spouse, children, family, and friends? So if you develop a good attention span, you'll be able to listen to others with greater attention, more sustained attention. Could the quality of your work at your job improve drastically? Maybe you can get much more done in less time. I know this for myself. If I have a sustained effort at something, sustained concentration, I'm able to achieve much greater things than if I dabble. So developing your attention span can help at your job. How much more could you learn and absorb with a better attention span? So when it comes to learning, like reading, do you read? Admittedly, I don't read as much as I used to, because now we can consume things in all these little small doses, like YouTube shorts and TikTok short videos and all that. But I don't find that actually my learning is as satisfying through that medium than the long form medium. Reading a book, for example, there's something very, very deep So that's the second benefit there, attention span. So first benefit, emotional processing. Second benefit, developing your attention span. Benefit number 3, decision making. You have to eventually come to a decision when you compose. Otherwise, you'll feel stuck or get writer's block. Sometimes it's hard to make a decision as you have to choose between things of close or equal merit. That's a tough one. So if you're composing, you might write 2 really beautiful phrases, but one of them has to go, one of them can stay. And you just have to make a choice. And how you make that choice is maybe a gut instinct, or could be a rational thing. Just say, oh, this one is constructed better. There could be many different reasons, but that ability of decision making is really crucial and really helpful in composing. It's also helpful in guitar playing and interpretation. You have to come to a decision about your fingerings, dynamics, etc., phrasing, all sorts of things. You have to come to a decision at some point, or else your interpretation will be unconvincing. But in composing, the consequences, I would argue, are much greater. The decisions you make can totally reshape the piece or give different sections a totally different effect. For example, change the texture from chordal to arpeggiated, and you'll wind up with a totally different effect, totally different sound. Okay, decision making. Very, very important. How can decision making help you in your day-to-day life? Decision making is important, especially when it comes to the big ones, the big decisions. What was the last big decision you made, and were you happy with it? If not, what could you have done differently to make the outcome better? Even in the small day-to-day things, decision making is crucial. For example, today I have decided to record this video and record these health benefits of composing. What are the consequences of your everyday decisions? Do they help transform the lives of others for the better? Do they have a long-lasting impact on your family, friends, neighborhood, community? So health benefit number 3, decision making. So with composing, you have to come to decisions, otherwise you're going to be stuck. And that's something that's a forum, a platform in the realm of composing where you can develop that skill of decision making. Composing music stimulates your default mode network, helping you with benefit number 4, remembering the past. Remembering the past. Composing allows us to process our memories into a positive and beautiful channel. How fitting that people name their pieces things like A Day to Remember, Remembering, A Day in November is a famous piece by Leo Brau, a famous piece by Francisco Tárrega, Lágrima, which means teardrops, or Recuerdos de la Alhambra, Memories of the Alhambra. So memories can really help to shape our compositions. And through composing, we can develop a positive and thoughtful relationship with our past memories. And we can bring those memories to life and share those memories in a beautiful way with others. How could that help you in your day-to-day life? Do you have any positive memories that you want to cherish for life? Turn those memories into a piece. Or do you have any negative memories that you want to come to terms with? Write a piece, and perhaps that will help you resolve, quite literally, how music resolves those memories. So benefit 4, remembering the past. Benefit 5, planning for the future. Composition requires planning. Otherwise, it just drifts into an abyss. Each student I've helped compose has used a plan inspired from a piece they love to play. Sometimes they might depart a little bit from the plan, but generally it helps keep everything structured and organized. I've shown various plans or templates you can use. If you browse through my YouTube channel, I go through various methods and templates that you can follow. There are a couple of videos. I'll put the links into the description for you to see how I compose using templates and plans. How could planning help you in your day-to-day life? Well, I think this is probably one of the biggest ones. I mean, I think every health benefit we've talked about so far will be quite drastic, will have a impact on your life, but this one maybe would be the most. Planning. How will planning help you in your day-to-day life? This is especially appropriate now with the end of 2023. We're going into a new year. So as I've gotten older and I now have 3 children, I realized the critical need to plan. Each day needs to be planned, otherwise it will just run away. It will be a mess and time will just zap by, and I haven't achieved what I could have if I had planned the day properly. So now that we're approaching a new year, you might be planning a New Year's resolution. That's a mild form of planning that many people don't stick to for the whole year. Planning needs to be a habit done regularly and formed by discipline. Composing helps you make a discipline of planning, as you quickly find out how difficult it is to write a piece without the foundations of a plan. I can't stress this enough, just how different your experience of composing can be when you have a plan versus when you don't. And this is probably the key that's helped the most guitarists. They already have the creativity in them. They just needed that plan to harness that creativity. They needed that plan to harness their creativity, to give it shape and structure. Because without that shape and structure, it's very, very difficult to compose. It's like building a house. If you don't have the foundations, the walls, the doors, the roof, you're going to struggle. Those basic foundations are important, and it's hard to escape from them, right? Especially if you're a new builder. If you're first time building a house, you don't want to try and be revolutionary about it. You want to just stick to the foundation, stick to the basics. Then when it comes to interior decorating, the color of the paint and the furniture and the layer, what sort of appliances you have and things like that, that's where you can have more flexibility. So it's in those smaller details you can be more unique. So planning for the future. Planning, very, very important skill to develop, and both in composing, in music, in practice, and in life as well. How can you plan your new year? Can you plan your new year for success? What if you actually planned your year out? Like, what pieces am I going to practice in January and in February and in March? If you follow CCG, if you're part of the Creative Classical Guitarist, it's all mapped out for you. Every month we have a task set. Every month we have a technical exercise to practice, technical focus, like in January it's left-hand technique, in February it's right-hand technique. Every month we have a focus piece, a piece to focus on. Every month members are encouraged to record one piece multiple times throughout the month. So by the end of the year, you've recorded 12 pieces, you've covered 12 different technical principles, you've practiced 12 different technical exercises, and you've gone through you've just gone through the program. So if you have that already laid out, then it's like set and forget. You just set it, and once the year starts, you just go through it. You don't have to think about it. You don't have to worry about what to do. You don't have to waste time, because you can waste so much time. If you don't plan, you can waste so much time. And that's exactly what I found with composing too. If you have a plan, you can compose much faster. If you have a plan in life, you can get things done much quicker. The final benefit number 6, story comprehension. An important part of the planning process when composing is the story your piece is telling. One of the most important questions that all composers ask: how does a piece display comprehension, unity, and a musical story, variety? So on one hand we've got unity, comprehension, and on the other hand we have variety, the story. Those are the types of things you learn if you join the Creative Classical Guitarist. You learn how to create comprehension through unity and form and structure, and then variety through all sorts of composition tools that you can learn. How could that help you in your day-to-day life? Learning is often most powerful when associated with stories. One of my favorite examples is Jesus in the Bible. He taught through parables. So it's a very, very powerful way to learn. We learn very well because we associate with something we already know. That's basically what Jesus did in the parables. You associate something unknown with something known, and then because when you do that, the person makes a link, you make a link, and a new link, and then you learn something. Build up this skill and you can improve your ability to retain and absorb knowledge. How good would that be to build that ability up? Storytelling can help make you more engaging with your family, friends, and colleagues. A great story is a meaningful way to communicate with people. Children love a great story and will sit still and attentive for ages when engaged by one. So that's the sixth benefit, story comprehension. So let's just summarize quickly the 6 health benefits. Benefit 1, emotional processing. So translating feelings into sound. Benefit 2, attention span. When we compose, we need to have a sustained, long attention span. So that helps us develop that. Benefit 3, decision making. We have to make decisions, even when it's difficult, when we've got things of equal merit to choose from, we have to eventually make a decision, otherwise we'll be stuck. Benefit 4, remembering the past. We can translate our past memories, whether they're good or bad, into sound. Sometimes that can maybe help us resolve a bad memory or just cherish a good memory from the past. Benefit 5, planning for the future. So when we compose, very important to have a plan, especially if you're a new composer. I would argue, don't try to compose unless you have a plan first. That's how essential it is, and how essential that is for life too. When we plan in our life, it makes life better. Benefit 6, the final one, story comprehension. So the ability to have unity and variety, to tell a story in the music, to develop our storytelling skills. And if we do that in our day-to-day life, we can have better relationships with our friends and family, spouse, children, colleagues, and everyone. To be a more effective communicator. Composing is much more than just trying to write a perfect piece. So that's my closing statement. Composing is much more than just trying to write a perfect piece. It's more all-encompassing than playing music by other composers, and has multiple health benefits that can affect many aspects of your life for the better.